On Whirlpool presents ESPNcricinfo T20 timeout powered by Dell. We're looking ahead to the game between the Royal Challengers Bangalore and the Kolkata Knight Riders. Joining me shortly, Tom Moody and Sanjay Manjrekar. Gentlemen, here come the preview statements from two teams that seem to be on a high and gathering some momentum. Statement number one, teams should look to bat first at Sharjah. Tom?
Yeah, look, there's certainly the trend is that, the teams that are batting first are having more luck with the result they're wanting, as in they're winning. But, and I think a lot of that's to do with scoreboard pressure. I think, getting a sizable score of over 200 is a pressure in itself. So I think there certainly is an advantage making sure winning the toss, getting a big total, and then trying to squeeze your opponent in the second innings.
Sanjay?
It's actually interesting because in recent times, it's been the other way around. You know your target and you're a lot more comfortable chasing a target. At Sharjah, if you bat first and if you want to get runs, a lot of runs, you get those runs. Having said that, if you watch the last game at Sharjah, the ball was gripping a little. So maybe Sharjah's pitch is starting to get a little old, so it may not be as simple as batting first and getting 230 runs on the board and scoreboard pressure, and the team wins. So we'll have to wait and see whether it continues to work batting first.
All right, let's go to our next statement, and that is that the Royal Challengers Bangalore have figured out their death bowling. Sanjay?
Absolutely. Chris Morris, he was absolutely brilliant. The way he bowled had answers to all the questions. It wasn't predictable. He bowled superbly, and Virat Kohli was so relaxed that he could finish Saini much earlier. And with Udana there, he's made for death bowling. His USP being taking the pace off the pitch every time. So yes, for the moment, it looks like they've sorted their death bowling.
Tom?
Yeah, look, absolutely. Morris is a very, very important addition, in my view, in RCB's lineup. They bought him specifically at the auction for this role. He has got those great, death over skills. He gets the Yorkers in. He's a lot quicker than a lot of people expect him to be. That alone, he's also going to be a handy power hitter down the order if he's given the chance.
All right, let's go to our next statement for the Kolkata Knight Riders now. We're saying that Andre Russell, the batsman, with 55 runs in 5 innings, Tom, needs to step up.
Yeah, he certainly does. We saw Andre Russell coming into this tournament in the CPL prior to the IPL. He also had a little bit of issues with his knee. So there is a concern there. But if he's playing purely as a batsman, he needs to show some consistency.
Sanjay?
Yes, I think he came into the tournament with some batting form and not much of bowling. But if you remember earlier on, KKR used him more as a bowler. In fact, there was a time when he bowled 4 overs. After that, he became their go-to death bowler. So clearly, that put a bit of strain on his body. And as a result, we had that episode in the last game. They need Andre Russell, the bowler, as well, to bowl those 2 overs along with the batting. But if he's not fit, then maybe they can go with somebody like a Lockie Ferguson and have somebody like a Cummins bat a little more, because that suddenly makes their batting look a little vulnerable. So maybe more use of Narine and Cummins, the batsman, if Russell is not fit.
All right. Our next statement, bowling Sunil Narine at the death is a risk. Sanjay?
Look, with the recent development about his bowling action, which has haunted him all his life, what happens is anybody who's got a suspect bowling action, when they're put under pressure, that tends to sort of come under the spotlight, because then they forget everything about their bowling action and they're just looking to get the job done. Considering that there is this question mark and the danger that if there's one more observation of that kind, then he may not be able to play in the tournament. So I don't think they might bowl him in the death. In the last match, they had to win the game, and Sunil Narine gave us everything in the process. His bowling action may have come under scrutiny. I don't think they'll put him under that pressure again.
Tom?
Yeah, look, it certainly put the Knight Riders under a lot of pressure because now with one of their key bowlers, with this cloud hanging over his head, he's now always going to be very conscious of not so much what he's delivering, but how he's delivering it. So therefore, the execution is going to be questionable. So the real problem for the Knight Riders and also for Sunil Narine is, do you take that risk at the back end of the innings, or do you just allow him to bowl more of his overs in the first half of the innings? They've used him, I think unexpectedly, but quite cleverly in the last two games in the back end of the innings, and it's proved to be successful. It's going to be a huge risk by doing it again.
All right. And finally, our statement is both Kolkata and Bangalore seem to have identified their best 11s. Tom?
Yeah, look, I think so. I think what they've got is a settled side, and you always find teams that are winning generally do have a settled side. But I certainly wouldn't be saying that this is exactly what these teams are going to look like in 5 games' time, because things change, conditions change, opponents change, venues change. So therefore, your fine tweaking of your playing 11 changes as well. So I think from their point of view, they're in a happy place because they're winning. And when you're winning, you can also afford to carry a few little weak spots that you currently have in the wish and hope that they're going to come good.
Sanjay?
See, when you're winning, you can actually look at a few, not holes, but certain areas that you might want to strengthen when you're winning. Because when you look at the last game, take out Virat Kohli's 90 and you're looking at scores of 33, 0, 10, 22. And when you look at their current bowling lineup that they've got Morris, Saini, Udana, Washington, Chahal, Dubey. I look at that as a very good bowling attack. I still worry about their batting, because if Virat Kohli goes or AB goes, are they enough batsmen to take them round? They've got Gurpreet Singh Mann in their team now. So maybe, use a match or two to get this young batsman into the scheme of things. So just in case, like it happens with good teams, like Delhi Capitals and Mumbai Indians, if they lose important wickets, they've got somebody else to take over. It can't be just a one-man show like last game.
All right. Thank you very much, Sanjay Manjrekar and Tom Moody, for looking ahead to this game between Bangalore and Kolkata on Whirlpool Presents ESPN Cricinfo T20 Timeout, powered by Dell.